Yeah, but it's not fair. Like, I feel like I'm doing all this work and it's always about him and making sure his feelings are valid, you know. And he's like, so do it for you. You have to do this work for you too, right? If you feel like you're never seen, if you feel like you're never being validated, that's because you're not giving them the opportunity to do it.
I'm John Kim, a licensed therapist who used to be a miserable fuck before going on a hero's journey and turning expired relationships into revelations. I use my story to help others come with you instead of at you, unrehearsed on purpose, because self-help doesn't have to be polished or complicated, just honest.
Can you talk about that in the context against those repair?
Yeah.
Because we've gotten into this discussion, like when an apology is important, when it's maybe not necessary, which I think is almost never.
Yeah.
So like that's one of the
things.
things. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
we this has been an ongoing discussion with us for about a week now. It's
Yeah.
just like, what is repair?
and,
Why is it important? What is it? Because I'll talk about, well, it's damaging when you say that.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean damaging? Like, what's being damaged? And,
Yeah.
So it's, I just want to.
I like that you're having conversations about it. I think this again is like, what is connection? I think it's a bit of like, everybody's got to establish what does repair feel like to them. For some people, like, I don't like to talk things to death. That makes it feel worse for me. I feel like it's almost being like re-triggered, like you're re-traumatizing me every time we're bringing it back up again. And so that's something that John and I, that's a communication style thing, and that's fair. He doesn't agree with that.
I like talking over talking.
Yeah, and so it's like, what's the balance?
So repair for me is gonna be different than repair for her.
Right, but who's the one that's actually more in need of repair in this moment? Right? So like if he's the one that's more in need of repair in this moment, I might need to overtalk a little bit. I might need to continue to come to him and say, hey, are we good? Do you want to talk about it more? Even if I don't want to do that. If I'm the one that's in need of repair, it might look more like him coming over and holding me and shutting his mouth. You know what I mean? Because that's too much for my nervous system. Like, so it is a little bit of that too. Who's the one that needs to repair?
So we had an argument last week, and I don't even remember what it was, but there was hurtful things on both sides, right? And so I had read your book, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to own my part of it, right? I'm going to own the part that I can own. And so I apologized for my part, but I will admit that I wanted him to apologize too.
Right.
Right? And
Loaded.
So there was
That was a fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Loaded, yeah.
But I did apologize, and I apologized genuinely. Like I was genuinely sorry.
Yeah.
But I was also genuinely hoping that
Sure.
he felt sorry for at least hurting my feelings, if not, for the rest of it, right? And he wasn't ready to apologize, and I got resentful.
Sure.
And then later in the evening, I brought it up again, and then he was really mad because now I'm
And she
holding on
shut
to it.
everything down.
Yeah.
That happens. Like, that's the sulking.
So how you?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just struggling to figure out like how you work through.
I think, because I'm more like you, I think you have to ask for permission to bring it back up. So like,
He's never gonna give me that.
well, here's the thing. If you jam it in his face, you're never going to get, so like,
You're not going to get the response either.
if she doesn't want to talk about it, my hope would be that me asking for permission would be
Soften.
not only soften, but she would think, okay, it matters to him, right? If I asked for permission, hey, we talked about this last weekend, and it's still, can we talk about it again? And if she's like, oh, it looks like it matters to you. Yeah, it does, and I'll tell you why, and let's talk about it. Now we're coming in neutral.
Yeah.
But if you're like, put the remote down, I still need to talk about this, and he's like, oh, fuck, that, like, you guys
I'm being
are
attacked.
already coming in, like, in an unsafe space, and of course he's not going to talk about it. And then you're going to be hurt. That
I love that. And also, it might be one of those things where you're like, hey, can we talk about this? It's still bothering me. And he also has every right to be like, I hear you. Okay, let's talk about it. But I can't right now. I'm not in a place right now. I'm too busy. I have a big call coming up, whatever. Can we do it tonight? Right? It's a dialogue. It's not like it's my way. We got to do it right now or not. It's like we also have to give space for the other person and where they're at. And so if he says, I hear you, let's do it, but let's not do it till tonight, then that's you going, okay.
Well, then why don't we answer just now? I'm done talking about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, then at that point, you have to ask yourself, how important is this to you?
Yeah.
And how much are you guys willing to meet each other halfway?
Yeah.
And maybe you're not. I'm also not afraid to say that relationships expire. Like,
I always say it's information for you.
Yeah, it's
Right?
just something that
How
you
the
think
other
about.
person responds over and over and over again. And it's one thing, we give people grace for growing and changing and learning. But if you're continuing to say, I'm not saying this is necessarily what's happening with you, Paul, but like in an example, if you're continuing to say, hey, this doesn't feel resolved for me, can we talk about it? And the person just flat out says no, that's information for you. Now you get to do with that information what you will, but you can't change anybody. If they're telling you who I am and then you choose not to listen to what they're telling you, then that's your part to own.
So that over time is going to have an effect, right? If it happens once, I'm sure but 5 or 6 years of that and nothing's changing, then, you're only 50%. So you got to make, I think.
Quick comment.
Yeah.
Just on something I was just thinking about the judo
Yes.
thing, the going underneath.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, Aikido.
Aikido.
All the things.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Matrix.
So I was just thinking, I was like kind of like fantasizing about like how nice that would like just like having that finesse, right?
Yeah.
And what a beautiful tool. However, you have to really have a strong sense of self and understanding of self in order to even apply that tool, which makes understanding of self that much more important.
Sure.
We don't know how much
Sure.
that is, but I was thinking about that. And it was like to have the ability to say, yeah, I am an asshole sometimes, and it not come from a place of ego, come not from a place
Yeah.
of
Yeah, you're not playing chess.
Exactly.
You're not saying if I say this, you're going to say that.
Yeah.
That's not, because then it's,
Exactly. It's not saying, yeah, I'm an asshole, sure,
No.
whatever, but like really just like owning, and I know for me, I've been in moments where I've had that much self-understanding
Yeah.
and speak that vulnerable about myself, and it makes life a lot easier, but like, yeah, I was just like, man, I look forward to being able to apply that tool.
Yeah.
However, having also done the work of self understanding.
I think that ability, I'm a white belt at it. That ability, I think it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even think it's like a relational thing. I think if you could have that ability on this planet,
I'm thinking work.
I think
Everything.
I think
Being humble, you
whoever you're-
mean that the feminine quality of actually being able to be humble and be in that state, right? Without being like, I have to defend.
But again, it reminds me of Bruce Lee's "Be Like Water." I think it's
Right.
a
Very- that's
spiritual,
that feminine-
human, a being thing. I don't think it's just a relationship thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
the final fast elbows as we end this.
We're not over time.
Oh,
You're
well,
pushing it.
this is final for me. Is
I'm like, John's like,
this idea that you could be wrong. We don't go into fights thinking we could be wrong. I rarely do, right? And the story I want to share is it has nothing to do with fighting, but it's just I pick simple stories in my life that I think resonate with me, and I think it's a good way to explain through storytelling. I was at the gym, and I grabbed a box jump to do box jumps for the workout. I remember I grabbed it, and when I went to the bathroom, someone took it, and then when I came back to do the workout, I was like, "Oh, that's my box. I grabbed it." And he goes, "No, it was actually mine." And I said, "Dude, that was," and I just kind of stopped because I didn't want to get into, working out and be grown ups. And so I did the workout. I got another box, did the workout, and I felt myself fuming. And of course, that's tied to other parts of my story of getting ripped off here and there, whatever. And on the drive home, I was fuming. And now I'm thinking like, this motherfucker, I'm gonna find out what he lives. I mean, I'm going way extreme. I'm a better athlete than him. I'm gonna work out with him every time, and in his face, I'm gonna be doing burpees. Like, just ridiculous, right? And then I got home, and I was thinking, and I played it back, and I was like, wait a minute. Because I forgot this part. When I took the box, I took it from a woman who had just finished working out. So I didn't take the box from,
the shelf. Yeah.
it could have been his before she had it. He could have came early to class. It was his box. She was doing a workout. He gave it to her and said, when I start my workout, I'll get it back. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't think about any of that. All I know was I took a box and someone took it from me. And it's interesting because hours of my day, I would have bet my life that I was right. He took something from me and, I'm going to get him back or whatever, right? And when I had that moment, like, holy shit, it could have been his before hers. That's why he's saying it was mine from the, I suddenly felt, dude, I don't know. I just don't know everything.
Yeah.
It could be through different lenses. So that's a time thing. I assumed because I was on my time track, I didn't think about it could have been his before her. It didn't even come across my mind.
Well, what's that saying where they're like, there's your version, there's their version, and then there's the real version? There's always 3 sides to every story, right?
And so with fighting, I think that if you go into it knowing that you could be wrong and there could be something that you didn't see perhaps, you're going into it more neutral
Yeah.
than, or I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
This is what I see and I know it's right. 100. I'll bet my life that what, go ask your friends, that kind of stuff, you know? And so that I think really makes the soil rich for conversation instead of a fight is, I could be wrong. I could be
I
wrong.
was thinking of fighting, and I'm thinking like sometimes I realize after the fight, I'm just like, why the fuck did I even have that fight? Like, where did that come from? Why did I even feel the need to go there?
Yeah.
And what does it even accomplish?
Yeah.
And usually it accomplishes nothing. Maybe it's coming from inside, right? Where it was a trigger and I just felt the
Yeah.
fight instead of the flight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So remember I said yesterday that, I think this is interesting, especially knowing your dynamic a little bit. Remember I said yesterday that my therapist made a comment about how sometimes like fighting and fire and passion is actually a connection point? I'm not gonna totally stamp it on y'all, but what I would say is that the dynamic up until this point has been you desiring more connection than she's able to give. There might be a little part of you, mostly unconscious, that might be instigating some of that. If you're really sitting with it and being like, I genuinely don't know why or where that came from, there might be a part of your unconscious that's actually attempting to establish connection through that.
True.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm not saying that that's always the case, but it might be something to consider.
Basically pouting.
Yeah, yeah.
My entire childhood was acting out to get attention.
Sure.
Well, that's it. So you know it works.
Yeah.
When I was the youngest, it's
You know it works. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it might just be, I'll send you an invoice,
You already paid. Here.
an extra invoice. One last thing I wanted to kind of put out there too. And I'd be curious to know if anybody's brave. I'd put a show of hands here. Anybody else like me feel like because you do struggle to bring things up or you do struggle to put words to things when they hurt your feelings or bother you, that it feels like the other person is always bringing up the things and you're never the one bringing up the things? Okay. So here's what's tricky about that. You can't get righteous about the fact that their feelings are always seen and always heard and always validated and yours never are, because you're doing that. This is the codependency work. I know. The reason why I bring this up is because I've had to do a lot of work on this in my own therapy around, yeah, but it's not fair. Like, I feel like I'm doing all this work and it's always about him and making sure his feelings are valid, you know. And he's like, so do it for you. You have to do this work for you too, right? If you feel like you're never seen, if you feel like you're never being validated, that's because you're not giving them the opportunity to do it. You have to own that. It's the same thing with resentment, right? Like resentment's yours to own, nobody else's. It's like drinking poison and expecting another person to die, right? So I'm not perfect at this. I'm saying this almost more to myself than anything, but if you're somebody who relates to that part of the dynamic, that's not their fault that they're getting validated. That's your fault that you're not allowing them to validate you. Do you know what I mean?
Saying step out of the comfort zone.
You got to do what doesn't feel comfortable.
Well, because it comes up, what happens is I'll bring out my feelings on something.
Yeah.
And then we'll get halfway through the argument, and then he's like, but my feelings are important too.
I do.
Why are you talking about your feelings?
But I do the
I'm like,
same thing.
I started the conversation.
But that's the thing. I do the same thing. And here's what I will say is actually a lot of times for those of us who are more shut down and avoidant sometimes in that realm, I actually don't even know that I have feelings until somebody else says I have feelings. And I'm like, wait a second, I have feelings too. Because I'm so compartmentalized to not even pay attention to the feeling. It's fine, don't worry about it, shove it under the rug. That until somebody actually elicits that response in me, it's like, that's like the Pandora's box. Now, part of the practice is it's not fair in that moment to hijack their experience.
Like, it's a total hijacking.
But here's what I would suggest is noticing it, continuing as best as you can to be present with their feelings and their experience, and then later after, go off and start writing down what came up for you. Because then maybe the next day you can come back and say, hey, you know, that conversation really brought up some shit for me, and it might have been something that happened a month ago. That's okay. you're getting better at it. But it might be like, I realized 3 weeks ago when you said X, Y, and Z, it shut me down and I felt da 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 da, right? And I've been sitting with that. Can we talk about it? There's no timeline. There's no timestamp on this shit. You're allowed to come back to it.
I feel like I need a little bit of help with this.
Okay.
I'm very much like John, and he did emotion, the vulnerability from the other side. But what if that person is not willing to be vulnerable? Like, there's been many opportunities, and it's on something that keeps coming up. And I think John mentioned yesterday, there's always going to be like that one fight that keeps cycling out.
Sure.
And then anytime I'm like, I need you to go there with me, I need you to go there with me, it's like, well, maybe we need to talk to the therapist about this.
Yeah.
And then we have attempted that, but then he's still not willing to go there, care. And so,
Where is there?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
so there's, we have had like 3 to 4 years, so 3 years of, he's like pouting right now. You see his
I don't want to.
You're on the hot seat. You're on the hot seat.
Come on. I mean, that's. I want to. I don't know if that's pouting, but I don't know you guys.
I think it looks like fear more than anything. Like, oh shit, where is this
Or
going?
hiding maybe, but I don't know.
No, it's good.
like 3 or 4 years of, we just went all in on our business and our careers. So there were times I can remember specifically, like every month and a half, I would have a huge breakdown.
Yep.
And I would feel like that's me saying, like, I'm speaking up, something needs to change, like I'm not happy. And it kept happening. And I've called Fabian out of like robot losers because he just like, he was there with me during that breakdown, but then we would just slide into the exact same routine now. Like he wasn't hearing or acknowledging or, understanding. And it was like, I always say to him, it's one thing to have a breakdown and then like things shift. I think it's okay. You have like 2 breakdowns and then things end up shifting. But this was like 3 years of it.
So let me ask you something. What do you need from Fabian when that stuff happens? What do you need from him? So you said I want him to go there with me. Describe what do you need from
Be
him?
specific what that is.
Go there with me.
Okay.
It's like now we're on a path of life, restoring things.
Wait, hold on. So I want you to actually tell Fabian. Look at him.
Yeah.
No, but right now I want you to tell him what you need in that time.
She wants me to figure out why I was the way I was back then.
Oh, you want an explanation now why? So what I'm hearing is you have resentment now from
That's what we
that.
talked about yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So what do you need from Fabian today? Because he can't make a time machine. What do you need from him today that will help you sort out this resentment? Do you need an apology? Do you need a Rolex? Like, what do you need from him? You know what I'm saying?
I need him to learn how to understand why he could do that, or watch his wife like break down.
Right. But you're talking about the past,
Yeah.
which is going to harden the resentment. So what do you need him from today moving forward to either change about if that's kind of stuff, or so you can start
Letting go.
letting go, just stop being angry at him. What do you need from him?
I think he doesn't like understand that I need him to like identify these. Like I want him to want to know why too. Does that make sense?
So
Yeah.
and then all I could do is like come up with, I guess, an excuse, like which is kind of like real, like we didn't put our marriage first. It was the kids, business, then marriage. We never prioritized our marriage. So like, and then it's also like, then I could blame her. Like, okay, how are you?
So say that again, but don't say we. Where were you in that? Say I.
prioritized.
Yes. So you what?
prioritize our kids. And then our,
Okay, so look at her
Yeah.
and say that. I didn't care. Just look at her and say that. No, look at her and say that. Hold on.
prioritize our kids and our business and our marriage came third.
Yeah.
So with that, because I don't know, that may not be enough for you.
No, that's I hear this most of the time.
You want to know? You want to know why?
What
Is
do
that
you
what
want
you're
to
trying to get
know?
So I'm hurt. Like I was heartbroken because I thought that like my husband, like if I was in a moment of distress
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
back at those
Yeah.
roles, that I could speak up and that person would be there for me. But it was like over and over and over and over. And he was aware, but like chose to still be emotionless.
I don't think, okay, so that's loaded.
Yeah.
There's not a choosing in this. I'm gonna make up a percentage here, like 98% of the time, our partners are not choosing to hurt us. They're not choosing to keep us in distress. They're not choosing, right?
See, his choice was to know where I was and then
Continue to.
Yeah.
to neglect, like, that my person was breaking down. Like,
Were you able to articulate to him, this is what support looks like?
I don't know.
No.
Okay. So, and I'm not necessarily taking sides on this, but it does feel a little bit to me like I want you to know. Like, I want you to know what my needs are. I don't want to have to be articulate and express them specifically, right? Especially you two. You've known each other since you were 13. So you know me so well that I want you to know what I need in this moment, even though I don't really know what I need in this moment.
So I do feel like I expressed like our marriage, like our relationship standards were so low that I would say like, dude, I just need a hug like once a week.
Yes.
Or
But you should hug her. That has.
a text message that you're thinking about me. That's it.
Yeah.
I promise you, like, I would feel something from you.
Here's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing, I'm still hurt from the past. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm also hearing, I'm scared it's going to happen again. I'm hurt from the past, and he has an explanation, but you're like, he said that many times. I'm hurt from the past. I felt very alone. I understand we put our marriage underneath and we put our kids wherever. I'm hurt from the past, and I'm also scared it's going to happen again. So when we talk about going under, how would you address that hurt? Without explaining, how would you address her having that hurt? What would you respond? How would you respond to that hurt? You don't have to overthink it. Someone's hurt. How would you respond?
I want to be there for them.
Are you sorry that she's hurting?
I am.
Yeah. So have you expressed that?
Sorry. Just, I don't know. It doesn't work well. I apologize.
And I think that, like, I'm gonna take ownership. And
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, there's the times where Phoebe feels very rejected by me.
Sure.
And there's times where I'm questioning his, like, authenticity. Like, are you just trying to, like, address this and finish this conversation because you're scared to get vulnerable? Or do you actually mean it? So, as an example, like last night, we're having this discussion. And he's like, I see you, like, literally, you guys have to say you.
Yeah, but you can't copy and paste that shit. It has to be real.
The day of the workshop.
You can't like have notes in your hand. You like it's like a script. Yummy.
I mean, A for effort, though. I'll give you that.
You.
And I should, like, I feel like the improved version of you should accept that. Yet, what I am naturally right now is, I'm like, where is this coming from? Is this real?
Is this
You don't trust it. You don't trust it. It's too fast, too soon. I get it.
Do you respond to, and I'm feeling a little bit, there's a similarity that I'm sensing, like you say, like, I just want to hug in this moment. When you guys have conflict and you don't try to talk, but you just move in physically, where does that go? Not physically, like sexually, but like containing. Here's what I want to go a little bit into the Danae realm, only in that when someone's feeling like a breakdown is an indication that I'm completely uncontained. Right? I don't know which way is up, which way is down. My life doesn't make sense. I mean, you're like, right? Think about that term. When somebody is in a breakdown, what to me, the kind of opposite quadrant of that would be that healthy masculine of containing, safety. Like, I've got you in this. I don't have to explain why necessarily. I don't have to say I'm sorry necessarily. I have to physically, energetically show you that I've got you. You can break down. It's okay, I'm here. And if that's not something that you've ever experimented with in your relationship, that might be an energetic experimentation that doesn't take words. And it might shift how safe you feel and also how much of that masculine energy you feel like you can provide in those moments.
Have you decided to forgive him?
So I'm working on that. I was
Yeah.
actually like,
That's a big piece of this.
Yeah.
the bullet point on this entire workshop, there are letting go of resentment. It's like, all right, I have to sign up because I know that that's something that it's not going to come from him. It's like, I have to work on that. I have to like forgive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm all in with us like making this work. But I explained to him, look, we're going to make it work. And I want you to understand that I'm still sitting with that.
Yeah, that's fair. It's kind of like he cheated on you. That's kind of like
an emotional-
big. That's how you, and you're like,
It's an
A,
abandonment wound.
tell me it's not going to happen again, and B, let's go back to that. Why did you cheat? And you're holding on to this thing, and he's like, this is where we were, and so there's a giant cracking of trust, and so to rebuild that trust. Yes, it's going to start with, I think, the two pistons pumping. One, you have to decide, or you may not, but you have to decide, I'm going to forgive him. And he's not required in that. That's your own process. It's a daily thing. It's a daily thing. Some days you're going to be like, fuck this guy. Some days you're going to be like, you know what, I get it. So that's your process. And then you have to earn the trust back. Whatever that looks like, you have to earn the trust back.
I think it's a safety thing. I'm really like, my gut is really feeling that it might be a bit of a containment safety thing. You guys have known each other since kids. The dynamic is different. Like it does. It's a different kind of dynamic. You've grown up together.